Hey guys, what's going on? It's Game Geezer here. Gonna do another car video on my 2012 Ford Focus. I'm gonna change the front brakes. I'm gonna do the pads and the rotors. So if you got a Focus kind of like this, it should be pretty similar install. I'm only gonna do the fronts because the rear has the drums on this one that I believe are connected to just the e-brake. So I'm just gonna do the fronts today. Tools I'm gonna be using, I got my pressure jack and my jack stands up here, and I got my wheel chocks. I'm going to put those in the back, so when you rip the e-brake there, it's going to hold the rear wheels down, and I'm going to lift both ends up and put a jack stand under each side. If you don't feel safe doing that, if you don't have jack stands especially, just do one side at a time, but since I'm safe, I'm going to do both sides. I'm going to lift up both ends, take the wheels off both sides so I can do it together. And got my crossbar, all that stuff. Now these are the rotors I got. These are the drilled and slotted, and they actually say front driver side and front passenger side because of the way that they've been grooved in them. They need to go on a specific side, so if you get something kind of like this, make sure that you put them on the right side. And I got my nice Evolution Power Stop pads here that come with them. It even tells you what to do after you first install them, how to break them in. And there they are. And they come with the silence grease, new clips, and the little rubber ends in case you need them. Now, if you're like me and you got a Focus and it's not turbocharged, then you're probably like wondering why I got these drilled and slotted ones. You're probably thinking that's overkill, and in a way you're right. Yeah, it is a little, but here's the deal. I got this whole setup here for 150 bucks. I got the drilled and slotted rotors and the pads with everything, with the grease and all that stuff. It came in today, one package, 150 bucks, pads and rotors. Now for a good set of pads, you're going to spend 50 bucks anyways. And then, you know, rotors, you're going to spend at least $40 a piece. So, if you want to save some money and get something a little better than their average brake, you can get these Power Stop brakes. And you can get them from either the AutoZone website and apply the 20% off coupon, and it'll bring them down to $150. If you don't have a coupon, you can just head over to Amazon and search for this brake kit for your model car, and without a coupon it'll come out to $150 also with shipping. So either way, you can get these for this kit for $150, at least for a Focus anyways. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and jack up the driver's side, and then I'm going to put a jack stand under it, lower it, jack up the other side, jack stand, lower it. And then before I completely lift the tires off the ground, I'm going to also loosen the lugs. So I'm going to get the car up in the air and get the tires out of the way so I can get to the brakes. I'm going to show you guys how to change the brakes too. I highly recommend this kit for $150. I mean, for everything you get. If you go to AutoZone, you know, the cheapest set of pads they have is $20, and the cheapest set of rotors, I believe, is $30 or something like that. So, and that's a piece, you know, not for a pair. So for $150 for performance brakes, this is a steal. So I'm going to install them, show you how to do that, and then I'm going to let you know what I think about them, and I hope that they're as good as they look. So we'll find out. So I'm going to show you here. I got all the lugs loose on both sides. Got my wheel chocks back there. Got my e-brake ripped. If your e-brake works good, you don't need the wheel chocks. I mean, it's just for precaution. So you'll see this little arrow right there. That's basically just telling you the general area of where the jack goes. So you can see I stuck the jack here kind of close to the edge. It's not really the best place for it, but I had to fit it there. And then I had space to leave the jack here because I want to do both sides together. So that's how I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to lower this jack, and the jack stand will hold it. And I got enough space that my tire isn't touching the ground. I'm going to do that to both ends. I mean, you can jack it up higher if you want, but I'm just going to do the minimum here. And another thing is, if you guys are using a pressure jack like this instead of a scissor jack, just know that these jacks, they descend over time. So if you don't have jack stands and you got two pressure jacks, it's not going to work out still. You need a scissor jack or something like that. Unless maybe you got a high-end pressure jack, then it'll stay up. But if you got one of these little $20 pressure jacks here, that's not good enough. Scissor jack is honestly, it's one of the better jacks. I mean, it's a cheap jack and it's not going to come back down, but these will. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and finish jacking up the other side and taking pulling the tires off, and then we can inspect the brakes and go over the install on that. Both sides jacked up here. I'll show you. See that there? And both tires only have one lug holding them on. See that? Real simple there. And just for the heck of it, I went ahead and moved the front passenger side rotor, so in case I pull the sticker off and I forget, it's all good, it's in the right spot. Same with the driver's side one. Now, if you get basic rotors, then that's not going to be a problem. If they're not slotted like this, they can go on either side as long as they're for the front. I just recommend this package because it's such a good deal for what you get. We'll know how the performance turns out when I'm done. Something else I wanted to show you guys. When you get it all jacked up like this, I always leave the last lug on the bottom holding it so that the other ones just kind of come off real simple. And then on the last one, you can just kind of kick the tire down and it'll let go of the tension. That way you're not struggling trying to take them all off at the same time. Just leave the one on the bottom, get all the others, they come off real easy. And you can see how bad the rotors are. They're all ate up because driving on these pads, grinding in there, I mean, there's no saving this one. I mean, right when I heard the noise from the brakes, could have been probably just pads and gotten away with it, but we waited too long. Got held up with work and back and forth and trying to make them stretch, and then waiting for them to come through the mail and stuff, and we just couldn't do without the car. So I was just like, it doesn't matter, I'm changing them anyways. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you the other side. Normally the driver's side is the worst side, so this one's probably going to be the ugliest of the two. Passenger side. See, this side doesn't look as bad. It's still not good, but definitely not nearly as ground up as the driver's side is. But that's alright, because we got a new kit. Nice shiny new brake kit. And it's supposed to be a power stop kit, so it's supposed to be a little more better performance than what I have on here. So if that's true, I'm going to be happy with them, because what came with the factory was good too. I mean, for what it is, So I'm going to start taking these apart, showing you that, putting new ones on, and getting to it. Okay, so now we're at the driver's side brakes here, and I got both ends up, tires out of the way, everything. Now, when you come back here, where the caliper is, you can see this right here. Try to get the sunlight out of the way. Hopefully it'll focus in. The sun is beating on it. I'm just going to turn the light on. There we go, that's much better. So this one here, you're going to have 4 screws. Almost every brake set is like this. So you're going to have one here, and then the same thing on the bottom. It's going to be this one here in this case, and then that one there. So what you want to take off first are these two bolts, the ones that are in these cases here. Now, depending on your car, you might not even have this case, so I'm just going to pop these plastic lids out. Alright, so I'm going to play with those, get them off, and I'm going to see what kind of head it needs, and then I can tell you guys what's under there and how to take these first two bolts off. And after we get those off, this whole piece here should come off and separate from this piece here, because these are two different pieces, believe it or not. And then this one will come away, you know, so we can get to the problem. And I'm going to figure out what size bolts and all that, and I'll be back. I found the first size, and it's an Allen key style underneath here when you take those little caps off. And those are just to keep dirt and rain and rust and all that out of there. They're not too special or too important, but if you can keep yours, keep them. And they use this Allen key style. Now, I don't know the exact size of this. Let me try and get that to focus. Come on, camera. Yeah, so it looks like this. And this is the one I'm using. It says 7 on it, so I don't know if that'll help anybody. But I would recommend getting one like this so you can put on a socket. And it's going to just kind of like that. It shouldn't have any play in it. See, this is solid. And you don't want to strip these, because you're going to have a good time with that if you do. So get yourself something like this. Alright. I'm going to find out the size of the next one. The next one there. And then we'll have both sizes we need to finish this job. Okay. So, the other size we need was an 18 millimeter. Okay. See that? So now we got our sizes. And this will work for all 4 bolts on both sides, because both sides are going to be identical. So, there you go. Those are the two you're going to need. I'm going to start taking these off. So I'm going to do these top and bottom identical ones with the Allen key looking one, and then we'll come from there. I also recommend, if you got a socket kind of like I do, you can see it's oversized and looks really over aggressive. These will help you a lot, especially if you're got some rusted stuff in there, or maybe you're not quite as strong, or whatever the deal is. You never know with these. Sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're stuck, and it's just better to use a bigger one if you can, and try to weasel it in. So try to find a way to get it fit in there if you can. I may not even be able to do this, but I'm going to try. So I ended up going smaller for this one here, but I'm going to try and use this big one here for the 18. It broke loose really easily, which should be the case if you're working on a 2012 like I am, and you had your cap still in here. Nothing should be rusted. So it busted loose, and you'll sit here and basically spin this all day, and you'll be like, what's going on? Well, you can see it's already out, but it's just going to stay there. So you got to kind of just push that with your hands there, see? And just kind of make it flat again. Take your tool out, go to the next one. Alright, so I got both of these, top and bottom, and this is ready to be pulled away basically, but I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now too, to keep them both the same and do them together. You can do one side at a time and speed through it, and you'll be fine too, or if you have the option, do both sides together. I mean, it's just personal preference. So I'm going to go ahead and do the passenger side now and keep them the same, consistent. Alright, so I just got the passenger side ones loose too, the same ones. So all of those are done. So 2 on this side and 2 on the other are loose. Now, what you need to do is, you see this pin here? This pin is holding this top layer to this bottom layer. Remember how I said they're separate? So you're going to have to get a flathead and just kind of pop this out, and then this one will probably just come out with it too, and get this little pin out of your way, because it's like a safety that holds them together and keeps the pads and everything straight. So yeah, just a little, let's see if I can do it while I'm recording. Just kind of like that. See how easy that is? Now getting them on is a pain, just as a warning there. So just like that, our new ones come with new pins, or you could reuse the old ones. It doesn't really matter. You should be fine either way. Just stick my flathead in here. You can see this is coming apart. It's ready to go. Probably just grab it. Yep. Just like that. One of the pads is in there still. Now if you got a bucket's a good idea, because you could set this down, because you don't want to leave this dangling. See, you won't want to leave it dangling like that. But for now, I'm going to set it up here, and I'm going to look for something to set there, and get this pad out of here. Look at that. There's nothing. This crap. It's junk. This one here, it's got like a claw in the back, and it pops in this cylinder here in this piston. See if I can do this one-handed. I got it. See, this is the other pad with the claw. And both wore out to nothing. So there those are. I'm going to do the same thing on the passenger side, and I'm going to try and find something to set this on so it can rest. I decided to use something that everybody has as a bucket here, your tires. So the tires are what's holding this there, and I'm ready to take these big bolts off. Alright, I'm going to show you a view from the other side because the sun. So kind of like that, just resting there. Now I'm going to show you what you need to do to get your side looking like this. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the side with the sun. Okay, so all that's left are these two big bolts back here, these two 18 millimeters. Once we take those out, this part will come right off, and this will slide off. If this doesn't slide off, if it's stuck on there, you can beat it with a rubber mallet, and that should make it come off. But if you're working on a 2012, sometime when I post this video, you shouldn't have that issue, or at least this model, you know. So if you're on the other side, when you're trying to get this off, you're going to notice that you're going to get to hit this down and it'll break it free. But on this side, on the driver's side, it's reverse. So I need to pull up on it to break these free. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can try just pulling, but these are on there pretty good. So I'm going to try and angle the camera and show you something that I think would help a lot of y'all out more. Hopefully that's recording there. See if I can find a good angle. Okay. Now, see, I need to pull this way. It's going to be tough. So what I recommend doing is kind of hitting this like that. If you have a rubber mallet, this would be helpful. Okay, see, those are stubborn. You gotta kind of mix it up, pull on it, and kind of beat it till it starts coming loose. Instead of taking it all the way out, go to the bottom one. Same thing, I'm going to try pulling. Okay. There we go. Okay. Then these big bolts come out. Right there. Bottom one here. This one's being stubborn because of the weight of the bracket here. Now, bracket just comes off. See that there? Just like so. Right out of the way. Kind of wiggle this off. There's the old one. See how bad that was? And that's terrible. You'll have people tell you can resurface these and stuff like that and make them last, but honestly, for the price, just get some new ones, man. You know, I'm about to put these high performance ones on here for 150 bucks total, and stay tuned for that. I can't wait to see how they actually perform though, but we'll find out. So both my sides look like this. Okay, so both my sides look like this now. See that there? Got nothing, and the caliper hanging. Both sides look like that. I'm going to show you what you need to do now. We're going to start getting into the good stuff, where we finally get to start putting it back together. Okay, I got my rotors here. See, I got the one that's going to go on the passenger side laid out, driver's side one here. Now, if you got brake cleaner, now's a good idea to go ahead and clean them real quick. If you don't, you should be alright anyways, but this will help make sure that they're ready to go nice and clean, because they put oils and stuff on them when they package them up, and they recommend doing this. I'm just going to spray that. And this stuff dries really quick. So just for the heck of it, because I happen to have some, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Flip them. Spray them again. Okay, for this next part here, I'm going to show you on the passenger side this time so the sun's not blocking it. But you see your caliper here. When your brakes get thin, the more thin they get, the more this piston has to come out to compress them against the rotor. So that's how brakes work. They start out thick, you know, they're here. As they wear, they get thinner and thinner and thinner. And then it's just so thin that it's time to change them, because they're going to, you know, start ruining everything. So, what we need to do now is we need to get this piston back inside here, inside the caliper. We need to make it flat. Okay? So what you need to do is pick yourself up one of these C-clamps and wedge it in the back of there and kind of spin it down. Now these come with a flat head on the top that rotates. Mine broke off, but I'm still able to use it because I'm going to stick this bar in the way and start using that C-clamp and pushing it back in. So it'll be kind of like this, you know, until it's flat. So I'm going to get someone to hold this camera and do that for you guys, show you. This part's a little tricky. It's not too annoying, but it can be annoying. So I'm going to have to adjust this clamp here back a little bit, not too far. This rod. And you don't need this rod. I just do it because my flat part of my C-clamp is missing. It broke off. Basically like this. And I'm just going to start drilling. Trying to keep the C-clamp from sliding off. This won't be a problem if you have a good C-clamp. And they're only like $7, but I actually like using this bar because it works better on all kinds of brakes. So I'm fine with it. See how it's getting flat now? loose. It's pretty flat. I'm going to try and make sure the whole thing is flat. So I'm going to double check this side here. This is what I meant by it's kind of annoying. Okay. Should be good enough. So now it's flat. I'm going to go do the other side now, and then we'll finish from there. Alright, both sides look the same now. Stop. Okay, so now I got my new rotor here. They should be dry because that stuff dries pretty fast. Just slide them on like so. You're going to take your bracket, same one as before, and you're going to fit your bracket on. And this side with the 4 like that, it's going to go on the outside. Okay? So, I'm just going to take these and find the hole here in the bracket. Get in close here. Get in closer, closer, closer. Find what I'm looking at. You see the bracket goes under this piece. Bracket slides under. Then you line up the hole. There it is. Just kind of thread it in by hand. And then take the bottom one. I'm going to set this to tighten. Start tightening these down. Pause it. Okay, next side, same thing. Pause. Gonna put this bracket in just like before. It's gonna slide under. Start threading these in. I'm gonna tighten them down. Pause. Okay, so both sides should look like this. You should have a nice rotor on there. And your caliper on both sides should be nice and compressed. So now we're going to go over to the pads, and we're going to start prepping the pads to put the pads in here. And once we get the pads in here and everything's set, then we're going to seat them together. Pause. Okay, so these are the new pads. See how thick those are? These are also supposed to be some high-performance brake pads, so we'll see about that. Here's the old ones. See the thickness difference? This is so worn, it's ridiculous. And this one is the one that was really grinding. You see that? There was nothing left. It was all gone. It was actually starting to eat through the wall. So, there's that. I got the new pin here. There's the old one. Again, it doesn't matter which one you want to use. Factory one feels a little stronger, but it's preference. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip the new pads. I got the driver's side here and the passenger side there. And they give you this grease here. And you can use it with the bolts and all that stuff. And the backs of the pads here. So I'm going to apply some on the backs of the pads. The bolts are going to be okay. They're fine. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on all four, the two on the driver's side and the backs of the two on the passenger side. And if you notice that any of your bolts look kind of rusty or something like that, you might want to add some of this on them too. Mine are okay, so I'm going to leave them alone. But I am going to use some of it for the backs of these, like so. Go ahead and show you that too. Get off me. So, some on there. Some on here. And again, the bolts are just as important, so if those look nasty, just put some on there. And I'm just going to spread some around on this back plate. And I'm going to do this to both of them and just kind of make it even, kind of like a thermal paste on a computer. Just a little thin layer. If you don't have any of this, you'll be fine without it. It's just to help reduce noise and all that stuff and keep stuff from rusting up. So, there's that. Pause the video. Okay, so I just got all 4 of my pads here. You can see I got the paste on all of them here. Well, at least the ones for the passenger side now. And the driver's side's done, but it's over there by the driver's side. So now these are ready to be put on. So I'm going to take this and the pin off. I'm going to try the new pins out. And we're going to go put those on now. Okay, now I'm going to take the pad that has the pins on it. See that there? And see how it has like a curve? The curved side is going to go down. Okay, so you're going to set this in like that. And you're going to try to pop this in there, those 3 little arms, like that. See that? And that's how it's going to go, just like that. Now the other one really just basically rests in there. You're going to rest it in there like so, like that. See that? And since you got the piston all the way back, if hopefully you did, otherwise this part's not going to be too friendly for you, it should just slide up like that. And you'll see the little arms on the pads go right in this groove here. Come down in here. Come down. No, down, Ava. Come on. Try. See the little arms there? Little arms should be in this bracket. And everything should be flush. And you can't lose these bolts because they're back here. Remember, and you just kind of push them down, push the bottom one down, and then you're going to get your tool. And I'm going to start tightening those, and those should grip. Okay, on these, since the bolts are already in there and they slide back and forth, you got to get your tool in there, and you got to slide it all the way as hard as you can down while you're twisting it and turning it so it doesn't spin forever and ever. And eventually it'll catch the threads. And it's kind of annoying, but it will eventually get in its little home. Okay, so there's the top one. Now, once you get one in there, the other one shouldn't be too bad. You may have to put your head down and kind of make sure that they're lined up because they might be off by a little bit. I can feel it though. This one grabbed, so we're good. Now, you'll see that the caliper has a little bit of play in it, and that's because when we push the brakes for the first time, the piston will come out and put some pressure against them. So that'll be helpful, and we'll show you that soon. And I'm going to do the other side just like this. I'm going to tighten them down, and we'll continue from there. Okay, same thing as before. Head down, little arms, pop them in, head down, just like that. Slide it over, little feet. Once they get on there the right way. Okay, so all the feet are in place. Now I just need to tighten these down like I did the other side, and we'll continue from there. Okay, now I got those all tightened down. Don't forget to put your caps back in them. Nope, that didn't work. I'll find that someday. But Get this one in here. There it is. Found it. Okay. Now, before you put your caps back, be sure to double check that all four are nice and tight, and we'll continue from there. Okay, so my both sides are basically together. I got all four bolts tightened down in the back. Everything's good to go. Everything's been set right. Now, the last thing we need to do is get this annoying, very annoying pin in here. Now, this part's just frustrating because this little foot here needs to go on the base, but these little hooks need to go in these holes. So that can be really annoying because it's going to try to pop out while you're trying to get both sides. So we'll try to get this. Get in there. Okay. Now, sometimes that could be more annoying than it looks just now. Make sure it's good to go. Now, all this stuff will tighten up when we start the car for the first time and we push the brakes. We pump the brakes, it'll tighten it all up. All right. Pause. All right, so same thing on the driver's side. Everything looks good, everything's tight, ready to go. Just gonna get these pins in. Hopefully they'll go as smooth as the other side. Maybe if I say they're annoying. Nope. I hate pins. Oh, look, it worked. Okay, all right. Good. This part can be the most frustrating. All right. Still up in the air, but here's what we're going to do here. We're going to start the car. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pump the brakes. They're going to feel really squishy. My foot just went all the way down. Now they feel really stiff. New pads are in. And I'm just going to do this. These are some thick pads. I'm excited to try these out. So I'm just going to keep pumping them. Really, the first couple are all that matter, but I'm going to do it anyways. Pump it like a 70 or 80 times. Okay. Kill the car. Now if you look, the pads are pressed down against there. Now once we get the rim on and all the lugs on, it's going to be solid on both sides. So now all we got to do is put our tires in both sides and start locking those lugs down, and then we're going to go break these in. Get it? Break them in. Yeah, you'll get it. This passenger side on. Press it against, and this one lug is nice and tight, and it's going to hold it for the rest, so I don't have to work so hard. Too bad these ugly rims are hiding the really awesome new brake pads in there, new rotors. If you have a nice set of rims, you're going to be able to see the drilled and slotted rotors through, and it's going to look really, really high performance. Make you feel a little better about your car. But anyways, I'm going to tighten these up. I'm going to put the little plastic covers on and make sure these are nice and tight. I'm going to start lowering the car. Okay, the car's down, well, except for this side, but everything's nice and tight, and I'm going to put my plastic covers back on. Just remember when you're putting yours back on that where the valve stem goes is where the little hole is. If you got real rims, then congratulations. But I'm going to pop these back on, and I'm going to go break these in. I'm going to go break them in.
Yep.
Now I'm just going to get this jack up here to lift the car so I can get my jack stand back. Here's our extra pieces. Brakes are installed. If you get lost and you happen to get the same brake kit I got, the Power Stop brakes, they give you a really awesome install poster with pictures. It's pretty nice, actually, really simple, and good job for them on that. Now what we're about to do is this phase right here, break-in process. So you're going to go from 40 to 10, you're going to stop aggressively 5 times. Okay? And then right away, same thing, but 35 to 5 times. And then you're going to coast around for 5 minutes and let them cool off. And after that, they should be ready to go for daily driving. Now, if you don't want to get these power stop brakes, you don't have to. You can get any rotors, any pads you want. You don't even have to get the rotors unless you need them like I did. You'll be okay. Let's say, for example, maybe you're about to sell the car or trade it in or something. Then you can completely avoid getting those all together. You can just get just the pads, some $20 pads, and you'll be fine. So that's really your call on that. You don't have to get anything like this, but again, this was a steal. Drilled and slotted rotors plus pads that match for $150 with shipping. I mean, that's good. That's a good deal. So just check it out. I just got back from my drive, and happy to say that the brakes feel good. I just did the break-in process like they recommended, and everything is great. Everything went smooth. It's quiet, no weird noises or anything, and stopping like a champ. So I did some aggressive braking. I didn't do braking to the point where I could slide and the tires drag and all that, but I did some pretty hard braking, and it felt good. It didn't feel squishy, or, you know, like if you've installed a lot of brakes, you know, and you get some cheap ones on there, they don't feel like the factory ones. They feel a little lighter, and these didn't have that effect. They felt like what I'm used to getting out of this car when it was new, and I like that. So far as my little test run goes, I give these big thumbs up there, especially for the price. And you know, I'll wear them in. I'll post an update if I have anything negative to say. But if you don't see another video from me on these brakes, then you can just assume that they got the A+ rating from me. So until the next one, everybody, take care.